Hey everybody, it's the Wyco Nomad with Wyco Resiliency. We are doing another road chat, travel talk, whatever you want to call it. And yes, I have COOHMP from the Starbucks. It's going to be a long drive. So looking at 16 hours on the road. I'll do 12 hours today, call it, and then finish out the last stretch after that, because I'm good for a solid 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m. drive, and then after that, I got to start winding it down. So, two topics I want to talk about, and we're going to have a part two, which will be one of the other topics, because I'm going to do everything all in the one. So, thinking about Teotihuacan, the end of the world, the shit hits the fan, and we're gonna step away from the whole Mad Max, EMP, World War III, the classic prepper novel fantasy. This is why I have to have my plate carrier, my guns, and my nods. And we're gonna slip to something a little more subtle, and something that I'm kind of leaning more and more to, and it's like, well, it's Judgment Day. It's like, well, okay, I'm a person of very deep faith. I don't think the Judgment Day is coming. I actually think judgment's coming in the form of another possible exile, but that's a whole different rabbit hole that I'm not about ready to get to with all y'all, and that's going to get into deep faith, and most of you don't want to know that. We'll put that on a separate channel. Well, not a separate channel, but a separate playlist. What I'm talking about is the complete collapse and reunification, the restart of America as we know it, going on based off of the rise and fall of empires. All empires only last 250 years. We're approaching that in about 2 years. And that lines up with 2627, which I've said for years that if we see anything happen bad, it's going to start seeing the change about 2627. And we're right on track, and that's before I even realized that was the 250 mark. I've just always had a very something that always sat on my heart, that 2627, if you don't have your poop in a group, if you don't have your ducks in a row, if you don't have your dogs ready for the race. Yes, I went through a bunch of them. I'm having fun with that. And if you don't do that by then, you're going to be SOL. Let's start off. Should you have a way to defend yourself? Yes. Should you have plate carriers, bump helmet, nods? Situation dependent. I'm not a huge fan of nods, especially if you don't have food, water, side hustle, if you don't have all your medical and all that, you're skipping food and you're skipping water, but you got to buy your nods, or you're putting them on credit. Not a fan of it. Because who are you fighting? Who are you going to war with? Are you planning on going to war with somebody? Because if I look at history, and we look at the Great Depression, we look at, collapses of societies, yeah, there's some fighting, but not the entire countryside is fighting. And we all know if you're looking for fights on a long enough timeline, your ticket's going to get punched. It's plain and simple. It's just attrition. It's going to happen. You just keep rolling the dice. Eventually, Snake Eyes is going to pop up. So if we don't hit that prepper fantasy, the Mad Max world, what are we looking at? I mean, I did a video a while ago. What if shit hits the fan, never happens? What if shift never happens? What if the government systems do collapse? Whoa. Surprise. This is why you don't tailgate people. So, what if that doesn't really happen? What's your plan? You got all these guns and ammos and MRE, but basically nothing happened. It's just a complete disruption in, say, your job, healthcare, going to the marketplace. Social credits become an actual thing. There's extreme shortages. You can still get things, but you got to stand in line for them. So people aren't quite starving to death, but it's a difficult time. Are y'all planning for that? Well, I know, if I got 7 to 10 years worth of food, I don't have to go to the store as often. I'm good. I got medical supplies, antibiotics. I don't have to go to the doctors as often. I got all that handled. I'm not fighting the golden horde. I'm not fighting bandits. I'm just trying to get through the day until something is reestablished. So I think a lot of preppers and those in the self-reliance sphere need to start thinking about what's going to happen if the prepper fantasy novel doesn't come true. Because I'm looking at history, I'm looking at all the situations. That's a movie. That's a fantasy of, well, this is going to happen and I'm going to have the golden horde. That's, could you have problems? Yeah, I'm sure if you're living in Babylon in the big city, of course you're going to have problems because that's where all the people are. That could become a serious problem. But if you're rural or suburb or, sub-rural, whatever you call it, urban, that might be a little more difficult. I have no idea what this little tiny town is, but there was a detour because there was an incident on the highway, so they had to close it down. So we're being rerouted through a tiny little town. Cute little town, maybe 10,000, maybe less people, who knows? But I don't know. So what if those things never really happen? What if you don't get that fantasy? What if, you don't get that total Teotihuacan collapse? But you got your guns, you got your ammo, but you don't have enough food. You didn't store up enough money because your job's gone. How many of you are actually setting up side hustles and secondary ways of creating income or creating finances? Oh, I got my gold and silver. What if it doesn't go to gold and silver? Let's say that doesn't become the tradable good. It'll always be tradable. Maybe. Not always. But what if it doesn't? What if you're working on social credits to get rid of fiat, but you're doing social credits? Oh boy. That's a whole different story. And we're going to go to Spokane. So, and I've got, I was going to go cryptocurrency. I view Bitcoin as not a tradable. I'll stack my Bitcoin, but that's for end of life type retirement. Just buy it on the daily, what do you call that? The daily average. Buy $2.50 worth of Bitcoin every single day. And then you just ride out the highs and lows. Just homeboy wanted to go fast. Oh, look at that. We're finally in an area where 70 miles an hour instead of 60. That's cool. Oh, his lights just came on. My light's on, yeah. So we have to kind of plan these things. It's set up your system to be ready for a financial issue. So now I'm going to do like a little, we're going to keep going, but this is a little hard break. I'm going to do a hard break because we're going to go into the second part of this. So it's a 10-minute mark, and I'm going to split it. I'll add all the other stuff, but since we're halfway through, we'll just do the old saying, hey guys, remember to like, subscribe, share. I dropped a few subscribers. It happens. I'm not for everybody. I get that. And then plus I was a little slow on getting some stuff out because of family stuff and all that jazz. So, we got the sirens coming up the hill here. Remember, COOHMP, Blackout Coffee Company, 20% off. Jace Case, $10 off. You can get all your antibiotics and all your yearly, you can get a year's prescription of your daily prescriptions, all that good stuff. Now, go to the second part of this. So, even though many of you have beans, bullets, guns, ammo, plate carriers, food, water, first aid, all the things, camping equipment, bug out bags, inch bags, all that stuff. What are you doing to create a level of financial security? And I'm doing 60 and everyone's passing me, so that's, yeah. So what are y'all doing for financial security? I get it. You know, it's difficult. You need to start thinking about having a side hustle, something that is your very own, something that if corporate America decides to take it away from you, your job goes away, that it's yours. Small business. I am huge on owning your own business. And one of the things that I do is, obviously, I have my affiliates. I'm working on getting more. I'm slowly building up YouTube. That is a part of a side hustle. But I also do other things. I happen to have skills with building things, such as setting up Raspberry Pi setups. And then the Raspberry Pi setup, I can build all sorts of neat little things with the Raspberry Pi, ATAC systems, stuff like that. So, and that, that's money. That's time and effort, and that's a lot of money to build someone their ATAC with a kind of a private server hooked up to it. Also doing cybersecurity. Cybersecurity allows me to consult. I do consulting within the prepper stuff, the prepper sphere. So there's a side hustle. Finding something that you love, a hobby, something that you enjoy, and finding a way to monetize that is a great way not only to bring in extra income, but to guarantee that if your job went away, you have a way to still bring in income. So don't just focus on the pews and that. You really need to, as self-reliance, you need to have multiple systems. One is none, two is one, of income. Have multiple forms of income that you can, well, I have my wife working, I have my partner working. That's not multiple sources. That is a single source of income. You have to build something that is your own. Find something you're good at, monetize it. And it could be anything from guitar lessons to YouTubing affiliates to, I don't know, any sort of small business, Ubering. But find a way to have a secondary income coming in. Also, silver. I'm a huge fan of silver. That's assuming that silver will actually be worth something. it'll always be worth something. Maybe not. The only thing that makes money worth something is the willingness to barter and use it. We can look all throughout time. Forms of currency has changed. Salt, what's the other? A shekel. These are all, we don't use shekels anymore. We don't use gold. We don't use silver. We don't use gold-backed or silver-backed dollars anymore. Use the petro. Is it even the petro anymore? Or is it just something else? Oh, I am on 90. Okay, on I-90. Going over the pass. 2,600 feet mountain pass. I'm kind of like, that's cute. That's real cute. Coming from Colorado, that's adorable. Aw, they're so cute when they're that young. So, I also believe in the stock market. I don't throw a lot of money at it. I throw a little. Diversification. Yes, I do crypto. I do Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't do shit coins, but I don't do it to buy and sell. I just put a little bit of money in and go from there. That's the mark of the beast. No, it's not. No, it's not. Yep, don't worry about the mark of the beast. Read Revelations. It's quite clear how that works out. I know. But my pastor said, just read it. You're not going to be tricked into it. So, that is a really nice mountain. I should have had you guys facing the street instead of facing the road instead of me. So, make sure you're diversified. Make sure you have a side hustle. You want to treat your finances just the way you treat your guns and ammo. You want to have it stacked. So, with that, I am the Wyco Nomad. We will bring part 2 to an end. I'm going to put these in 2 different formats. I'm going to split it, and I'm going to have a long run, and I'm going to have a short run. So we're going to do it that way. So, how can you support the show? Buy Kofifi. Blackout Coffee Company. If you look in the About in the description, you will find links to Blackout, Jace Case, Refuge Medical, Grindstone Ministries, Caleb House. Blackout Coffee, Jace Case, and Refuge Medical I am affiliate with them. I get credits with Refuge Medical, so every purchase that you guys do through Refuge Medical, I get a bonus little tick. I don't get cash, but I get credits toward cool first aid kits. Best in the world, American made. And then Blackout Coffee Company, you get 20% off. That's Kofifi. Y'all need Kofifi. Kofifi is the best. And then $10 off your Jace Case. They got ivermectin. They got antibiotics. Hopefully YouTube won't give me a ding for that using the I word. But they got your yearly prescriptions. So if you're on cholesterol meds, thyroid meds, they even have mental health medications in there that you can get your year's supply. So if there's shortages, you can grab. Yeah, not a bad idea. Not with how things are crazy. So there's always a way. You got to figure something out. So as I said, I'm the Wyco Nomad. Everybody, you have a wonderful day. Shalom. Watch your 6. Love you guys. Till next time, I'm out.